You was exaggerating when you said 100 perks, or you for real like on 100 perks a day?
Kodak Black has admitted to chewing up to 100 Percocet pills a day at his peak. Between his May 2026 MDMA trafficking arrest, his 2023 ER trip, the Kai Cenat stream where he popped a pill on camera, and his own words on stage in 2024, the signs keep adding up. Here's why Kodak Black's health keeps getting worse. The 100 Percocets a day confession. In 2024, Kodak Black walked on stage in Los Angeles and told a crowd that he regretted one of the most famous lines in his catalog. He said the bar about taking a fake Percocet from Super Gremlin came out of his mouth faster than his brain could stop it. Then he sat down with Drink Champs and explained where the line came from.
I really didn't want to say that, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like that was the first thing that came to mind.
He told the hosts that the bar was the first thing that came to his mind when he hit the booth. He said he did not even think about it before saying it. He said he is Gremlin, so that is what came out.
I knew the perk was fake, but I still ate it from a Gremlin.
The full bar in the song goes, he knew the Percocet was fake, but he ate it anyway. Kodak admitted on the podcast that this was true. He really did eat it. He really did know it was fake. He really did do it because he is Gremlin. Then he made a point of telling fans not to copy him. He said he stopped performing the song. He said he based the choice on where he is now.
Please don't take that, Try to like do no like that.
That was Kodak in 2024 trying to walk back a song that millions of people had already memorized, but the bigger admission was still coming. In a separate interview, he confirmed what fans had suspected for years. He admitted that at his peak, he was taking up to 100 Percocets a day. The host pulled the number out of him on camera.
Gremlin.
The Super Gremlin, yeah.
I said that, bro.
100 perks a day sounds like a lot.
The host pressed him to confirm. He wanted to know if Kodak was exaggerating.
You was exaggerating when you said 100 perks, or you for real like on 100 perks a day?
Kodak did not back down from the number. He said his peak was 100. He said his average was around 40. He said he was chewing them, not swallowing them. For context, a single Percocet pill contains oxycodone, an opioid. Doctors prescribe one every 6 hours for severe pain. The standard ceiling for someone with a tolerance is around 8 pills a day. Kodak was taking up to 100. He has said the only reason he survived is because his pills were real. He said fake pills laced with fentanyl would have killed him. He has warned fans against following his path. He has admitted to spending more than $350,000 on rehab. He has been to court-ordered programs. He has been to private programs. He has paid for some out of pocket. In a 2024 Instagram Live, he told fans he had never been this happy. He said he had not taken a full perk since his last jail stint. He said he was keeping the dose low. He said he could see clearly for the first time. He announced he would stop performing Super Gremlin because of what the song represents, but the sober Kodak did not stay sober. In November 2024, he appeared on Kai Cenat's Twitch stream. He tossed a pill in the air. He caught it in his mouth. He hit the ground. He joked that it was a glitch for the Twitch. The next day on Instagram Live, he addressed the backlash. He said he takes one perk and people get butthurt. He said he is never sober. He said he is too young to die sober. Reports note that he took another pill while saying it. He has since said he stopped getting high a long time ago. He has said he does not care to prove it to critics online. He has said he is focused on family, but the calendar tells a different story. In May 2026, he was arrested for MDMA trafficking. The case stems from a November 2025 incident in Orlando where police found 25 grams of MDMA, $37,000 in cash, and a Glock 23 in a green Lamborghini SUV linked to him. That arrest came less than 2 years after the December 2023 plantation incident, where police found him asleep at the wheel of a Bentley with white powder on his mouth. That came less than a year after a February 2023 fentanyl-positive drug test. That came less than a year after the July 2022 traffic stop where police found 31 oxycodone pills and over $74,000 in cash in his SUV. Every time he claims sobriety, another arrest follows. Every time he announces a fresh start, another stream goes viral. Every time he addresses critics, the cycle resets. This is the timeline that has fans worried. When the Drink Champs co-host asked Kodak about deleted videos and erratic behavior, the conversation pulled toward addiction. The co-host summed up the situation in one line.
Yeah, brother, I'm saying, we trying to say no to drugs. They don't listen, drugs don't listen, homie.
Kodak agreed with him.
Don't listen, bro.
Yeah, because you recently went viral.
The drugs don't listen. That was the line Kodak kept coming back to. He has said it on stage. He has said it on streams. He has said it in interviews. But the question is whether Kodak is listening either. His own freestyle alluded to a meth habit. His verses have drawn DMX comparisons. His Instagram lives have shown him sweating, rambling, and nodding off. In August 2023, Kodak was rushed to a Florida emergency room on a stretcher. Fans speculated overdose. He had tested positive for fentanyl earlier that year. A judge had already ordered him into 30 days of rehab. He went to rehab. He came out. He recorded music. He toured. He went to Kai Cenat's stream. He popped a pill. He addressed the backlash. He denied being sober. Then December 2023, asleep at the wheel of his Bentley in Plantation, Florida. White powder around his mouth. White powder on the ground. Cocaine charge. Then the lab test came back. It was oxycodone from a real prescription, filled after he was shot in 2022. The cocaine charge was dismissed in early 2024, but he still served about 2 months in jail on the probation violation. When he got out, he was present for the birth of his child. He talked about being grateful. He talked about being sober. Then, November 2024. Then the Kai Cenat stream. Then September 2025, when he went live on Instagram while sipping lean from a bottle through a straw while driving down I-95. Then November 2025 in Orlando. Then May 2026 in Orange County. The 100 pills a day was at his peak. He says that peak is behind him, but the arrests keep coming, the streams keep going viral, and the fentanyl tests keep showing up. Whatever the truth of his current use, the cumulative damage is real. A body that has run on 40 to 100 Percocets a day for years does not bounce back overnight. That is the foundation of the story. That is the admission Kodak himself has put on record. The next question is what fans have actually been seeing. The streams, the hospital trips, and the DMX comparisons. In the fall of 2024, Kai Cenat was running one of the biggest streams of his entire career. He had built up to a series of high-profile guests on his Mafiathon run, and Kodak Black was the kind of booking that lit up Twitch chat the second it got announced. The room was loud, the snacks were everywhere, and the energy was supposed to be playful. For the first stretch of the broadcast, it was. Then somewhere around the hour-and-a-half mark, Kodak reached into his pocket, pulled out what looked like a tiny pill, flipped it up into the air with his thumb, and caught it on his tongue mid-conversation. He hit the floor laughing. Kai's face froze in real time. The chat exploded into one giant scrolling wall of question marks. When Kai turned to him and asked what he had just swallowed, Kodak smirked back and said it was a glitch for the Twitch. It was framed as a punchline. It did not look like one. What followed across the rest of that stream is what really set fans off. Kodak peeled off his shirt and started scratching at his skin in long, repetitive drags. His sentences trailed off into stray syllables that never quite connected. He made strange, half-finished threats about kidnapping Kai that landed somewhere between joke and not. He laughed at the wrong moments and stared blankly at the ceiling during the right ones. The clips that got carved out of that stream and posted to YouTube the next morning racked up millions of views with titles like Kodak Black tweaking on Kai Cenat. The next night, Kodak went on Instagram Live to push back. He sat there shirtless, eyes glassy, and addressed his critics directly. He said he takes one perk and the internet gets butthurt. He said he has always been like this. He said when he is high, he is in his coma. Then, on camera, in the middle of defending himself, he popped another pill. That single moment did more than any documentary could to spell out where Kodak's actual relationship with sobriety was. He could say he was clean, he could say he had grown, but the lens was rolling and the pill went in his mouth anyway. That was November 2024. Fans had been watching this kind of moment build for years. Back in mid-2023, he went on Instagram Live shirtless and disheveled, his eyes barely tracking the camera in front of him, his sentences breaking apart into half-thoughts. He rocked back and forth in tight, rigid little movements that did not match the cadence of his speech. He talked about things that did not stitch together. The same pattern showed up in earlier streams with Aiden Ross, where he made wild, off-the-wall statements that got clipped, screen-grabbed, and turned into reaction memes within hours. But the most direct red flag of that summer came in August 2023, when Kodak was wheeled into a Florida emergency room on a stretcher. Footage of him being taken into the ER spread across hip-hop blogs within hours of being uploaded. Fans speculated about an overdose. His camp downplayed it, but the surrounding context was hard to ignore. He had failed a fentanyl test earlier that same year. A judge had ordered him into rehab, and his behavior on social media had been growing more disconnected by the week. Then came the now infamous December 2023 Plantation incident. Around 2 a.m., Plantation police found a black Bentley SUV parked dead center in the middle of a residential road. Kodak was sitting in the driver's seat, slumped sideways, unconscious. When the officer returned to the vehicle, he watched a stream of white powder fall out of Kodak's mouth onto his chest. White rock-like fragments were scattered on the pavement around the door. The officer reported that Kodak's mouth was packed with the substance. Photos and dashcam stills from that night. Kodak standing on the side of the road with his mouth slack, his eyes barely open, powder visible on his lip, traveled across every hip-hop platform within hours. Lab tests would later confirm that the substance was oxycodone, not cocaine, and that he had a valid prescription dating back to being shot in 2022. The cocaine charge was eventually dismissed, but the optics of the moment, a Grammy Grammy-winning artist passed out in a luxury car with powder running out of his mouth in the middle of the night never quite went away. These visible moments lined up with another change fans had been quietly talking about for years: his appearance. Since coming out of federal prison in early 2021 on a Trump commutation, Kodak has dropped a noticeable amount of weight. Some fans waved at it as a sign of a fresh, healthier lifestyle. Others looked at the gauntness in his face, the long, stretched dreads, the sunken cheeks beneath his eyes, and saw the textbook profile of long-term opioid use. Chronic Percocet abuse suppresses appetite, accelerates dental decay, drains color out of the skin, and saps a person's energy. The people around him in his Instagram videos often look one way. He often looks like he is shrinking inside the same outfits. The DMX comparisons started creeping into the conversation around late 2024 and into 2025. DMX, one of the most magnetic voices the genre ever produced, died in 2021 at age 50 from a heart attack his family connected to a drug overdose. Hip-hop fans have a sixth sense for that trajectory because they have already watched it play out before. They watched Pimp C, they watched Mac Miller, they watched Juice WRLD, they watched DMX. And in 2025, when Kodak dropped a freestyle that referenced what sounded like a methamphetamine habit, the comparisons detonated across timelines overnight. Kodak pushed back on them. He told fans he is not DMX. He told them he is going to be around for a long time, but comparisons in hip-hop are rarely drawn out of nowhere. They tend to be drawn by the people who love an artist the most. September 2025 brought the moment that arguably cemented the worry for everyone watching. Kodak went live on Instagram from the driver's seat of a car barreling down I-95 in South Florida. In one hand was his phone, filming. In the other hand was a bottle of promethazine codeine cough syrup, lean, which he was sipping straight from the bottle through a thin plastic straw. He was driving, he was streaming, he was drinking opioids, he was alone in the lane. Clips from that night, captured and reposted by accounts like Live Betez, blew across every social platform within an hour of going up. Fans flooded the comments begging him to pull over. Other viewers slammed him for endangering everyone else on the road. Some people zoomed in on his eyes. Others slowed the footage down frame by frame and tried to work out whether he was actually nodding off behind the steering wheel. That stream was the embodiment of the fans' concern in one viral, undeniable clip. A famous, talented rapper behind the wheel of a moving car at highway speed, sucking opioids out of a baby bottle while broadcasting it to millions of followers in real time. His Drink Champ sit-down captured one of his most quoted reactions to all of it.
Yeah, brother, I'm saying, we trying to say no to drugs. They don't listen, Drugs don't listen, homie.
The drugs don't listen. They don't listen when he tells them he is done. They don't listen when he reminds himself his kids need him. They don't listen when he reminds himself the cameras are rolling. Kodak's Drink Champs guest understood that intimately. He opened up on the episode about his own battle with addiction. He talked about how the two of them had been together on a plane when one of them was lit up, and how watching the other person go through, that locked them in even tighter as friends. He said people on the outside don't understand that public figures have a personal life behind the music too. It was one of those rare moments inside a hip-hop interview where two artists looked at each other and recognized the exact same demon, that the cycle they are both in is not entertainment, it is a thing that quietly takes lives. Kodak has been able to package his crisis as content for years now. He has streamed it, he has rapped about it, he has cracked jokes about it on podcasts, he has even leaned into Gremlin as a kind of mascot for the wreckage around him. But the gap between Gremlin the character and Bilkahan Capri the human being is the gap fans keep pointing at. Gremlin can survive anything, the man playing him cannot. And then there is the cycle that ties all of this together, the cycle that has been running steadily in the background for a full decade, the legal one. The arrest cycle that just won't end. The pattern was visible almost from the second Kodak Black became famous. He signed his Atlantic Records deal in late 2015. By Christmas Day of that very same year, he was already sitting in handcuffs. That night on Florida's Turnpike in St. Lucie County, police pulled him over and recovered marijuana and drug paraphernalia from his car. It was a misdemeanor. He pleaded no contest, took a 120-day sentence, and lost his license for a year. It was a small story at the time. It would not stay small for long. A couple of months earlier, in October 2015 in Pompano Beach, he had already been arrested on charges of robbery, battery, false imprisonment of a child, and marijuana possession after allegedly forcing several people into a car over a suspected home invasion. By April 2016, he was getting pulled over again in Hallandale Beach, this time for running from police, throwing a loaded Glock 23.40 caliber into a dumpster, and possessing marijuana. He had a prior felony on his record. The gun made everything heavier. By January 2018, his home was raided after an Instagram live video video showed him handling firearms and marijuana with his young son in the room. Charges piled on top of charges. Possession of cannabis over 20 grams, weapons offenses, child neglect, probation violations. Some were dropped. He still served time. In 2019, the federal weapons case finally landed. He had lied on the background check forms when buying guns. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to roughly 46 months behind bars. He served about 10 of them before President Donald Trump commuted his sentence in January 2021. He walked out lighter, with new dreads down his back, swearing on every interview that he was going to be different this time around. The promise lasted about 18 months. In July 2022, Florida Highway Patrol pulled him over in Fort Lauderdale. They smelled cannabis. They searched the SUV. Inside, they discovered 31 oxycodone pills and more than $74,000 in cash. The charges that came down were trafficking in oxycodone and possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. He bonded out. The case came attached to conditions, the most important of which was regular drug testing. The drug testing is where everything got worse. In February 2023, he missed a court-ordered test and then tested positive for fentanyl. Fentanyl is the synthetic opioid that has killed more young Americans than any other substance over the last decade. It is the exact drug Kodak himself has said could have ended his life. A judge ordered him into 30 days of inpatient rehab. He was allowed to perform at Rolling Loud first, then went straight in. The same year brought the August 2023 stretcher trip to the emergency room. The same year closed out with the December 2023 Plantation Bentley incident, the white powder pouring from his mouth, the cocaine charge that the lab later confirmed was prescription oxycodone. He served roughly 2 more months in jail on the probation violation that came with it, and then came what was sold to fans as the rebuild. In 2024, he told his audience that he had never been happier in his life. He said he was sober for the most part. He said he could go days at a time without anything in his system. He talked about being a better father to his kids. He said the dreads were going to come off as a symbolic fresh start. He vowed to retire Super Gremlin from his live shows. He sat with Drink Champs and looked right into the camera, almost pleading with his fans not to copy him.
I started making bitches on like, man, found like I ain't on that bush.
That was the version of Kodak fans desperately wanted to lock in. Then November 2024 brought the Kai Cenat pill. September 2025 brought the lean while driving Instagram Live. And November 24th, 2025 brought the moment that set up his most recent disaster. That night, Orlando police responded to multiple reports of gunfire near Children's Safety Village on Fairvilla Road, just before 1 in the morning. When officers arrived, they found 2 luxury SUVs running on the curb with a group of people gathered around them, a BMW SUV and a green Lamborghini SUV. Officers caught the scent of fresh marijuana coming from the BMW and searched it, recovering about 56 grams of cannabis and a pink pill that field tested positive for MDMA. When they searched the green Lamborghini, the picture got significantly bigger. Sitting on the back seat was a pink bag. Inside the pink bag was a sealed plastic bag of MDMA. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement later confirmed 25.34 grams of MDMA, roughly $37,000 in cash, and documents bearing Bill Kahan Capri's name, including, of all things, a prison ID card. Tucked under the rear passenger floorboard was a loaded Glock 23. Florida law sets the threshold for MDMA trafficking at 14 grams. 25 grams blows past it. The charge ultimately came back as first-degree felony trafficking, the kind that carries up to 30 years in prison. Police started building the link to Kodak using his own Instagram posts from the week before the incident. The pink bag matched a bag from his story. Pink scissors found beside a $100 bill near the drugs-matched scissors he had posted. Rings and jewelry inside the car matched photos he had been showing off online. He was at the scene that night. He watched the officers conduct the search. When asked, he denied owning the pink bag. He tried to claim the cash as money from his business, but distanced himself from everything else inside. The arrest warrant got issued. Kodak flew in from out of state for what his attorney would later frame as a coordinated surrender. On May 6, 2026, around 9 p.m., he walked himself into Orange County Jail. He spent the night. On May 7th, his attorney, Bradford Cohen, asked the judge for a $10,000 bond. He argued the evidence was thin and circumstantial. He argued his client had turned himself in voluntarily. The judge looked through the file. He looked at the roughly 12 felony arrests sitting on the record. He set bond at $75,000. Kodak was released later that night around midnight. He waived his in-person arraignment and pleaded not guilty. The bond conditions were the kind that read like a sentence on their own. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from guns. Stay away from anyone anyone connected to the case. Whether he can comply with those conditions is the question fans are watching now. In Instagram clips posted after his release, Kodak insisted he had stopped getting high a long time ago. He said he did not care to convince online critics. He said the people who matter to him already know the truth. He referenced shaving his iconic dreads off as a symbolic fresh start. He said he was focused on growth, family, and music. It is the same speech he gave in 2021 after the Trump commutation. It is the same speech he gave in 2024 after the plantation case wrapped. It is the same speech he gave the morning after the Kai Cenat stream. The pattern by now is so practiced that even Kodak seems to know exactly how it lands. The drugs don't listen. The MDMA case is still active. The trial date has not been set. His attorney is signaling a long, drawn-out fight, hammering at constructive possession and the circumstantial nature of the evidence. Cohen has pointed out publicly that the cough syrup bottle with a fingerprint cannot be tied to anything trafficked, that the bag was found in a vehicle Kodak was not even seated in, and that prosecutors are leaning on social media screenshots and proximity rather than direct evidence linking his client to the drugs. Whatever the courtroom outcome ends up being, the medical math does not move. A man who has openly admitted to chewing up to 100 Percocets a day at his peak, who tested positive for fentanyl in 2023, who has been wheeled into an ER on a stretcher, who has been recorded swallowing a pill on a Kai Cenat stream in front of millions, who has been filmed driving on the highway while sipping lean through a straw, and who is now charged with trafficking the kind of MDMA quantity that carries decades in prison. That man is not in a good place, no matter how many Instagram lives he records to insist otherwise. The talent has never been in question. The Florida flow, the gremlin persona, the run of songs that defined the back half of the 2000s, none of that is in danger. What is in danger is the body and the mind that have to carry it. Kodak said it himself, in his own words, before he finished the Drink Champs interview.
Please don't take that, yeah. Try to like do no like that.
Please do not take that and try to do anything like it. That was the warning he wanted to leave for the fans who looked up to him. The question now is whether the man giving the warning can take his own advice. Because right now, every signal, the May 2026 MDMA arrest, the November 2025 Orlando bust, the September 2025 lean stream, the November 2024 Kai Cenat pill, the December 2023 plantation Bentley, the August 2023 ER stretcher trip, the February 2023 fentanyl positive, and the 100 Percocets a day he is now confessed to on tape. Every single one of them is pointing in the same direction. Kodak Black's health is not getting better. It is getting worse. That brings us to the end of this video. For more interesting videos like this, click on the cards on your screen.